Feeling overwhelmed by negative news? 5 Good News Stories is your daily dose of what's going right in the world. Like the 103-year-old granny who got caught speeding in her sports car because she was living life to the fullest, or the family who found their missing cat after 3 years when it showed up at their vacation rental. Remember Flop the penguin's incredible comeback after his injury? And that guy who broke the world record for most high fives in 24 hours while raising money for charity? These are the stories that remind us the world is still full of wonder and joy. 5 Good News Stories. Pure positivity 3 times a week. 5 Good News Stories, available wherever you get your podcasts. 5 Good News Stories.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Oh man, did you sign the petition yet? Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Over 20,000 people have signed a petition to get Kill Tony off Netflix. That horrible Kill Tony with his amateur comedians doing 1 minute of comedy and then getting slammed. They put their names in a hat and didn't get forced to perform this comedy, and then Kill Tony and his mean cohorts made fun of them. Sign the petition. It's at moveon.org. Ted Sarandos, he's the Netflix boss. He recently did Beyond the Stream, a conversation with Ted Sarandos, a big-time event, and he said, I knew that the art form itself, comedy, always needed a safe place to try things out. Comedians define the culture in a bunch of ways, and they do that by figuring out where the lines are and what the joke is. It's the only art form that you know is working because it's defined by the audience. If the audience laughed at work, you can't say, that's not funny if 18,000 people are laughing. But what if 20,000 people have signed an online petition? You could say you disagree with it. You could say that it offends you. You could say that it hurts you, but you can't say it's not funny. If someone wants to stand on the street corner and talk all they want, that's not a Netflix show. If you're attracting a large audience and people are laughing at the work and its jokes, they're just jokes at the end of the day. I think if we lose our ability to laugh at ourselves, we're in trouble. You look back at Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, and Richard Pryor, it's amazing we're having this debate about censoring comedians today. Sarandos added that Chappelle is clearly in that class. You might not like all the jokes, but there's no denying this is one of the greatest comedians of our time. Kill Tony, out on Netflix. Speaking of Kill Tony, who, is just ruining comedy, apparently. Go on Threads. Just go on Threads and type in Tony Hinchcliffe and see what you find. Tony Hinchcliffe has another gig. He's teaming up with those wrestling people. I missed this one when I was in Ireland. Tony and the WWE are working together on the Roast of WrestleMania, featuring Tony Hinchcliffe and friends, April 20th, 10 p.m. West, as part of WrestleMania Week. I'll have to remember to check out the WWE show and see if Tony makes an appearance. Netflix is using the wrestling to do crossovers. Very, very smart. Now, this press release is pretty favorable towards Tony, writing, Hinchcliffe, the internationally renowned comedian, one of the top roasters in the world, and the mastermind behind Kill Tony, will bring together top comics and entertainers for an unforgettable night of laughs and huge surprises. Some of the WWE superstars joining are Sami Zayn, The Miz, Braun Strowman, and Paul Heyman. And I probably got at least 2 of those pronunciations wrong. Plenty of good wrestling podcasts out there. This is not one of them. Sadly, the event will be non-televised. Why? They want you to go to this thing, huh? Can't you record it and show it to us? Let's see how much tickets are here on Ticketmaster. I could get in right now. A verified resale ticket, $135. That'll get you in section 401. Not awful. Hopefully they'll change their mind and televise this thing. Bill Burr, still in the news. Burr went on Seth Meyers, which, hey, Seth, by the way, if somebody offers you that SNL job, grab it. I'm telling you, just grab it while it's there. Don't wait too long. Seth asked Bill Burr if Burr was able to mend fences with Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. They were sitting together at SNL 50. Burr said, I did it in good nature. I was like, man, I hated your band. You ended my thing. Burr, like some of us of a certain age, liked the old-time rock and roll that went from, I don't know, Chuck Berry all the way up until I think the last album is officially the Guns N' Roses album. And then, the Pearl Jams came in and did other stuff with the Nirvanas and all that. You kids today and your music. Burr said, Vedder was cracking up. I go, do you know how long it took me to admit how great a band Pearl Jam is? Because now I love them, but it was 20 years ago and I was like, I'm not listening to these guys. Burr explains, I was watching all the hair metal, all these bands. I was loving them. And they were on the countdown. Then Nirvana came in and I was like, what's this? They always say Nirvana knocked it out. It was Pearl Jam. When Pearl Jam came, there was another one of those grunge Seattle bands, and that's when I was like, oh my God, this isn't ending. They're just going to keep coming. Then all my bands, Skid Row, all of them were gone. It was just these sad guys singing about being under a bridge and not being happy. And I'm like, what happened to Nothing But a Good Time and ignoring all your problems with cocaine, right? Like that was all over. On his own podcast, Burr recently explained that Vedder told him he was glad that Burr came around. He was actually asking what metal bands I listened to, and we got to talk baseball. What a sweetheart of a guy. Conan O'Brien revealed he considered not going to the Kennedy Center to accept his Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. On his own pod, Conan said there was a question of should I go, should I not go, and I felt like it was important to show up. Johnny Mac's trying really hard not to be political on the podcast. I don't know if you guys follow the news. I'll let you follow the news on your own. It's really hard not to talk about, the thing and the stuff. Conan said, first of all, we were brought in under the old regime. The people who brought me in are no longer there, but I thought we should honor their decision. Conan said, I did have the strong urge to die afterwards. It's like, what are you going to do now? But then I realized, it's on Netflix. People will see it. They'll forget. I need to get the next prize. I'm glad they recorded that evening because if there wasn't a recording of it, I wouldn't believe it. My love and thanks to everybody who came out. I mean, really busy people flew across the country to be there, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. I think we knew this already, but more confirmation that Nate Bargatze will make his film debut with the family comedy The Breadwinner. Nate describes The Breadwinner in the vein of Mr. Mom and Home Alone. It will be out March 13th, 2026. Get online for tickets now before they sell out. Nate says, it's going to be hard to make something and then have to wait to see it. I'm used to immediate reactions. Plus, I don't know the first thing about making a movie. I'm excited to figure it all out. What works, what's funny, what needs tweaking. It's going to be a whole new world, and I can't wait to learn. Nate talked about the changing landscape of comedy. When I was coming up, comedians had a system. I was in New York. You do 8 minutes on Comedy Central, live at Gotham, then you do a half-hour special. Eventually you get an hour. There was a clear path you were always working towards. There are rumors from Radar Online that they want to give regular Jeopardy to Colin Jost. A source says the ratings for Jeopardy have been very hit or miss, so of course they're looking to make some changes. The most important thing to understand with the franchise right now is that Colin's hosting efforts on Pop Culture Jeopardy represent a major creative and business win for the studio, and it's working out better than anybody anticipated. The show is a word-of-mouth phenomenon, is it? Are people like, hey, did you see Colin Jost on Pop Culture Jeopardy? I mean, losers hosting podcasts in their basement will occasionally mention it, but I haven't seen any actual civilians talk about that show. Have you? The show is a word-of-mouth phenomenon, and it's brought a load of young new fans into the Jeopardy universe. If it were possible from a business perspective to just hire Colin as the full-time nightly host, the studio would do it in a heartbeat and replace Jennings in the process. But Colin continues to be under contract at SNL, and he still wants to live full-time in New York City. Well, I got news for you. The buzz is off SNL. Although, if I were Colin, I would sit at that news desk as long as Lauren will have me. That's a nice, steady, visible gig. AI is telling me Jeopardy tapes 5 episodes a day on 2 days of taping every other week, resulting in approximately 230 new episodes. So I can solve this for everybody, okay? And no offense, Ken Jennings, but hey, how about in the summer, we'll film like 3 days a week for like a month, and then when SNL's on, we'll film on Monday and Tuesday. Hear me out. In New York. Yeah, we could build a set in New York and film it there. That will solve everyone's problems. And Colin Jost, if somebody offers you the Jeopardy job, take it. You can do that for 30 years. You see what Drew Carey's doing over there? Nice, steady work. Seacrest, they were like Wheel of Fortune. Great. By the way, you know how you know Ryan Seacrest is doing a great job on Wheel of Fortune? Nobody talks about it. That's exactly what you want. You don't want anyone having a conversation like Colin Jost to take over Wheel of Fortune. So you don't want that conversation going. No one is talking about Seacrest. No one is complaining about Drew Carey. Colin, if they offer you this gig, no offense, Ken Jennings, take it and someone else do the math. Okay, SNL wraps up, in May? So say in June, we taped 3 days a week. And then we did Monday and Tuesday while SNL's on, and Colin can hang out with Scarlett and go on vacation in July and August. You know, at some point, you got to work, Colin. But, 2 full months off, and we could make this work. Phil Wang, comedian I really dig, he's hosting the BAFTA Game Awards. He's a lifelong gamer. He started with the Sega Saturn in the mid-90s. Noob. I had the old Pong games before the Atari. I mean, I had an Atari, a Coleco, a Nintendo, with the robot and the gun. I don't want to hear about you people that came later. I had a Sega Genesis. By the way, I still have all these. I have a ColecoVision. I can go upstairs right now and get a ColecoVision if you want to play Donkey Kong. It's sitting in the closet next to the Atari 2600. I've got PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I only got on the Xbox this generation because I liked my PlayStations. Honestly, this generation, I'm spending all my time on the Xbox because of Game Pass. The PlayStation, I think it's a better machine, but no games, or games on the Game Pass are quote-unquote free as opposed to making me pay $70. I digress. Phil Wang's games were Rome Total War, Age of Empires, and Theme Park Tycoon. That makes Johnny Mac want to bust out SimCity. Phil said, I'm so thrilled to be returning as host of this year's BAFTA Games Awards. Last year's show was such an uplifting celebration of this incredible industry. Looking forward to continuing in that spirit and honoring another year of superb games. I've played games all my life. Blah, 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 statement. The ceremony today in London. It'll be streamed live on BAFTA's YouTube channel and on Twitch if you want to watch. Speaking of Phil, he was one of those comedians making fun of Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Fruit Spread and Sussex. There's the British version of Have I Got News for You? And on the recent episode, they all made fun of Meghan. If you're not paying attention, Meghan has a new podcast out today, which is great because I'm the writer on the Palace Intrigue podcast, and we will make fun of Meghan's podcast. Endless, easy content. I will barely have to work this week because Meghan will put out something that people will make fun of, and we'll report on the making fun of. If you want to keep up on the royal family, especially Meghan this week, Palace Intrigue, wherever you get your shows. So there's the crew on Have I Got News for You. They showed a mocked-up image of Meghan wearing a chef's hat while making jam. Yeah, she's selling designer jam. And by the way, we've learned through the reporting on Palace Intrigue, it's officially not jam. It's officially fruit spread. FDA something, not enough something to qualify as official jam according to government standards. So she's not even making jam. She's making fruit spread. This is how much fun Palace Intrigue is because we get into that kind of nonsense. Team captain Ian Hinchliffe. Boy, Johnny Mac's getting all the names wrong today. Ian said her jam immediately sold out, which I thought was good, unless there were only 2 jars. Phil Wang got in on this. He made fun of Meghan's beekeeping. Did you see Meghan going beekeeping on her Netflix show there? She held each honeycomb like it was covered in crap. And she's like, I love coming out and getting in touch with nature, but you could see she was about to throw up. Amber Ruffin said she's glad that she's not doing the White House Correspondents Dinner. She was on the American version of Have I Got News for You. She told that panel, I could talk for the next 3 hours. What I choose to say is it's like I lost the gig because I was out here talking crap. And I think it's a good thing that I lost the gig because I wasn't going to show up there and act all the way out. It's not anyone's fault because when we were hired, I was like, oh yeah, and we'll give it to everybody. Ruffin says she would have had a hard time biting her tongue, telling CNN's panel. They started disappearing people to prison in El Salvador. They rolled back civil rights. So I was like, if we make this equal, then I'm also a piece of crap. I can't effing do that. Poor Jeff Ross was in the hospital. He had an allergic reaction to eating ice cream. He shared some photos. He said it was his first allergic reaction ever. And he joked that despite looking like Mickey Rourke at the end of The Wrestler, he'd be back on stage soon. Jeff explained on social media, had a fun opening night performance of his tour, Take a Banana for the Ride, up here in Mill Valley, California. Afterwards, me and the band celebrated with some burrata ice cream at a restaurant down the street, courtesy of the nice owner. It was delicious, seriously yummy. Despite the yummy dessert, his lips quickly blew up. Jeff wound up in an ER. He spent the night. It's my first allergic reaction ever. I guess that's pretty remarkable considering I'm constantly shoving whatever food is in front of me into my face. Thank you to the overnight shift at the Marin Health Medical Center for only roasting me lightly. Hey man, you ever watch sports and find yourself wishing there was a way to get into the game? Well, let's go! With Underdog, there's finally a way to make picks on sports without leaving the house. The game is in your hands. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play now in your state. You've heard me talk about the higher or lower game. You know what I've been doing lately? So I'm a Mets fan, but a couple years ago, Francisco Lindor gave the thumbs down to the Mets fans. I will not forgive him for this. So what I like to do is I like to see what they're doing higher or lower on Francisco Lindor, and I pick the lower. Opening day, 0 for 4. Day 2, 0 for 3. Lower. Lower's the way to go. So how do you play? You choose a player who will go higher or lower on one of their stats, touchdowns, strikeouts, points scored. You can mix and match. You can create entries with baseball picks, basketball still going, soccer, whatever you want. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, so turn $1 into $1,000 just with your sports knowledge. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog, and their app has over 100,000 five-star reviews and millions of players. So do what I do. Baseball, higher or lower, and root against Francisco Lindor. He shouldn't have booed the Mets fans. Root for Juan Soto. That's what you should do. So go higher on Soto, lower on Lindor. That's the way to do it. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code DCN to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code DCN. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Underdog, promo code DCN. Do it. Oh my goodness, I just checked the clock. Johnny Mac went super long there in the first half, but I am having fun. I like hanging out with you guys. Hey, you know what it is over on 5 Daily Trivia Questions this week? It's Villains Week. That's right, it's a theme week. Monday was Bond villains. I don't know what today is. I only write the thing, but I forget what I scheduled. I think today's Star Wars villains. Anyway, I can tell you what they are. It's Bond, Star Wars, movie scary guys like Freddy Krueger, like that's one of the themes. Anyway, every day there's 5 daily trivia questions, and this week's theme is Villains Week. Check out 5 daily trivia questions wherever you get your shows. Jay Leno said he almost backed out of an upcoming booking in Canada. Jay, I told everyone I'm trying not to be political. There's a lot going on, Jay, and people are very upset, and I don't want to upset anybody. Jay, why wouldn't you go to Canada? Jay was on Beru TV, I'm sure I pronounced that right, with Canadian journalist Bill Burr. Late Night Reports, Jay said, I was almost not going to do these Canadian dates because I didn't want to be the ugly American coming in. Jay made fun of his recent fall down a hill, saying it's been great for ticket sales. Tonight at the Nashville Comedy Festival, 6 o'clock show, Dusty Slay's show is called Dusty Slays. 6 o'clock? Perfect. Dusty Slay at 6 o'clock? Perfect. I could see a comedy show, have 2 beers, head out the door at 7:40 and be in bed by 8:15. Amazing. I love this comedy festival. Jared Freed's also at the Lab at Zanies at 7. Over at the Ryman, Nate Land presents. Pretty good lineup here. Ryan Hamilton. Longtime listeners know I dig Ryan Hamilton. Dustin Nickerson, Derek Stroop, Lace Larrabee, Mia Jackson, Paula Kaczynski, and special host Aaron Weber. Boy, you'd make me choose between Dusty and a bigger show at the Ryman. I would go see Dusty, and then I could be home early. At Zanies at 8:15, The Depraved, hosted by Louis J. Gomez, Big J. Okerson, Robert Kelly, and Zach Amico on that one. 9:15, Story Wars with Big J and Gomez. That's at the Lab at Zanies. Nikki Glazer is at the Ryman. No, that's tomorrow. I could delete it, but that's not fun. Nikki Glazer, not at the Ryman. If you're at the Ryman and you're like, hey, Johnny Mac said Nikki Glazer is here tonight. She's not. Sometimes it's just more fun not to edit things out. And let's talk about the Melbourne Comedy Festival, because there's so many reviews. It's such a big festival, and if I don't start doing these, I'm never going to get to them. Josh Glank did a show called Family Man. He's at the Chinese Museum until April 20th. By the way, Dan Bublitz, what's going on with the Melbourne, Florida International Comedy Festival 26? Are you on this or not? Text me. You texted me like last week. You've got my number. Don't act like you don't have my number. You texted me. The Age tells us Josh Glank's Family Man is a riotous hour of musical comedy, audience interaction, and lanyard appreciation. His preacher man and French pervert characters keep the pace of the show lively and allow for a surprising multimedia callback that has everyone in the room glad they spent their hard-earned money on this clown. Clown being a compliment. 4 stars. Gary Starr's show is called Classic Penguins. He's at the Malthouse until April 20th. He can sing, he can dance, he can perform an entire show without pants. That's one of the lesser-known Dr. Seuss books, by the way. The Age tells us Gary Starr's humor is physical, silly, and uproarious. The interpretations are mostly literal riffs on titles. Moby Dick, for example, or Around the World in 80 Days. Around the World in 80 Days was one of the trivia questions last week from the trivia guys on Wednesday. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, trivia guys. Best Men Trivia. If you live somewhere near New Jersey, Look up, and you want trivia guys? Hire the Best Men Trivia guys. I don't know how far they travel. Maybe we'll book them at the Melbourne, Florida International Comedy Festival in 26. Get on that, booblets. So just actually pause there. I'm really impressed by my microphone. It is not picking up the barking dog that's driving me nuts as I'm recording here. She does not care that I have a podcast. I think if you boost your volume to 99, you might be able to hear her. But say you were in the basement talking about comedy shows in Melbourne, you would be able to hear her. Believe me, just take my word for it. And I guess she's not going to stop. So that's it. You could have had a couple more Melbourne stories, but you're not getting them now because Johnny Mac needs to go upstairs and be like, what are we barking at? The answer is going to be nothing, but I got to go do it. See you tomorrow.